Fudge gang! I am still a hard man! Let's go! Alright, I am your host, Imperator of Forge, coming at you live with the WarHammer 40k Casus Belli. WarHammer 40k Casus Belli is the title of the stream. Alright, so Forge gang, I am still a hard man. Alrighty then, how are you all doing today? So I guess we could wrap up on the news or something, but I wanted to talk about the different Saiyajin transformations, or the different Saiyan transformations. There's a lot. There's actually quite a few. So, Saiyans are just very naturally strong and also brutal. They're very bloodthirsty and warlike. I guess they could be compared to the Spartans, other than the fact that Saiyans were, at least in Bardock's time, evil. Not all the Saiyans were evil, but enough of them were evil in that sense. Fudge gang! I am still a hard man! Let's go! So I'm going to talk about the different Saiyan transformations. It's actually Saiyajin, or Saiyajin. But there's a lot of them. The Saiyajin are quite warlike and bloodthirsty. And at least by the time of Bardock, they were savagely evil. Not all Saiyans were evil. Of course, Kakarot was not evil. And while Vegeta was evil, he later became something of an anti-hero, good type of good guy. But, yeah, the Saiyans were very warlike and bloodthirsty. And they don't need transformations because they're already very strong even without their transformations. Or the transformations that Goku and the others eventually got or acquired over time. But the Saiyans have a lot of different transformations, and I guess I could talk about that. But the Saiyans are just very naturally strong. They're a lot more stronger than humans. Quite a lot of them were planet busters, which means they could blow up planets. At least the stronger, higher-ranked ones could. But the average Saiyan, different Saiyans were ranked into different classes and different orders, very class hierarchy-based. The royals, the Vegeta royal family, were the strongest by far. And they were definitely planet busters. But originally the Saiyans, aside from the fact that they have martial arts, they have Superman-like powers, very strong, very fast, and brutal, and also dodging too in various types of martial arts styles. They could also fly. Like, they could levitate and fire ki blasts and other stuff. But the primary transformation, and the only real transformation, was the Ozaru form, which during a full moon, or during the occurrence of a full moon, or a planetary body that could act as a vassal to carry blitz waves into their tails, the Saiyans could turn into great apes, which is basically like Godzilla-sized, kind of, not really monkey, but actually more like orangutan looking brown furry beasts or animals, and they could grow up to 10 times stronger. So it was a 10 times multiplier. It was a 10 times multiplier generally. So the weaker Saiyans would be weaker Ozarus, and the stronger Saiyans were stronger Ozarus. And the Saiyan tail was the primary conduit for that transformation. But the problem is they were in a primal rage state, to where they have little or no control. Vegeta, and probably also King Vegeta, and maybe even Nappa, were some of the very few Saiyans that could actually control the Ozaru state and use it as a fighting move. But all the other Saiyans did not really have the ability to control the Ozaru powers. So Ozaru is it has its qualities of strength, but it's lackluster with the lack of control. And also, the Ozaru had limitations, because if you squeeze a Saiyan's tail, it drains their power. They're completely vulnerable. And if you cut the Saiyan tail off, they either revert back to their other form, their base, or they can't change into the Ozaru anymore. But the Ozaru is generally a 10 times multiplier. Now, when Goku turns into an Ozaru, I don't think he gets that 10 times multiplier. Instead, he's probably about twice or 3 times as strong as his kid form. So, the 10 times multiplier was only for stronger Saiyans. Now, eventually, because Goku and Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, Trunks, and future timeline Trunks, and future timeline Gohan and Broly get stronger in their base form, they no longer need the Ozaru ability. So the Ozaru form is completely disregarded. Now, there's another thing called the Rage mode, or Ikari, and the Rage or the Ikari form was something that Broly used in Dragon Ball Super Broly 2019, or the 2019 Broly movie. In it, Broly loses the pupils in his eyes. His hair kind of turns a light brown, and he gets real bulky and very muscular and Tarzan looking. But he loses all control and all memory, and just goes out full berserk. It's just like Super Saiyan Berserk. So there's also the Ikari form that isn't mentioned. It's also associated with red pupils, or kind of red pupil eyes. And the Kaioken is not a transformation, but on Namek, as Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan get stronger, you see their auras begin to turn more yellow and golden-like, or golden light, as they approach closer to Super Saiyan. So, false Super Saiyan from the fourth Dragon Ball Z movie, where Goku is fighting Lord Slug, the evil Namekian Lord Slug. Goku very briefly almost turns Super Saiyan, but not Super Saiyan. He turns into a false Super Saiyan, where he has some of the powers and the agility of a Super Saiyan, but not quite a Super Saiyan. His hair stays black, but his pupils and his eyes go away, and it's kind of like an Ikari Rage form, and Goku has almost no control over this, and this form is only used one time. It's a golden Super Saiyan-like aura with black or kind of red hair, and it's kind of closer to the Kaioken. The Kaioken times 20 that Goku used against Frieza before he turned Super Saiyan is very similar. So the next form is, of course, Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan, the Super Saiyan legend is introduced by Vegeta in a flashback in the anime when Goku is fighting Riku. And Goku fully realizes this form when Frieza kills Krillin and he turns into a Super Saiyan. Goku also turns into a Super Saiyan when he fights Cooler in the first Cooler movie, the fifth Dragon Ball Z movie. The hair turns blonde, it goes up and stands on end, it's very spiky, the eyes either turn blue or green. I think they turn blue. The user has a golden aura and it's a 50 times multiplier. It is far greater than any upgraded Kaioken or mastered Kaioken ability, and it's very strong, and Goku very agilely and capably defeats Frieza on Namek using that form. And Goku and Vegeta and future timeline Trunks later used this form on Mecha Frieza and the androids 19, 20, 17, and 18. But Super Saiyan has its limitations, and it is not strong enough to beat the androids. So, Super Saiyan Grade 2, known in the West as Ascended Super Saiyan, the user becomes much more bulky, they have spikier blonde hair, their muscles pull out hugely, and their muscles and bulk form increases substantially. And Vegeta uses this form against second form Cell and Perfect Cell, and future timeline Trunks uses this against second form Cell also. And Goku uses it in the Room of Spirit and Time. And then Super Saiyan Grade 3, known in the West as Ultra Super Saiyan, is used only by future timeline Trunks. He uses this briefly against future Trunks, but it's so bulky and his muscles are so huge and his speed decreases. His speed is inferior to Perfect Cell's, and he just isn't able to keep up. However, future timeline Trunks uses this form against future Android 17 and 18 and future first form Cell and annihilates them and pulverizes them instantly. They stood not even a whit of a chance against it. And Goku also uses this form in the Room of Spirit and Time. So then, Super Saiyan Grade 4, known in the West as Super Saiyan Full Power, is just exactly the same as Super Saiyan. The hair style is slightly different, but it is actually calmer. It's not quite as spiky as regular Super Saiyan, and it's just basically Super Saiyan 1 pushed up to its highest and most greatest extent of power, and Goku uses this form to fight Cell in the Cell games. Gohan also uses this form against Cell prior to turning Super Saiyan 2. And then the next form is called C-Type Super Saiyan. This is the blue-haired form that Broly used in the first Broly movie, known as the seventh Dragon Ball Z movie. Broly briefly uses this form to fight Goku in his base early in the first Broly movie. Type A Super Saiyan, or Class A Super Saiyan, is the form that Broly used when he fought Gohan in the second Broly movie with Goten and Trunks. They were Super Saiyans, and Broly fought in this form. Then there is the extremely bulky and masculine Legendary Super Saiyan. And so Legendary Super Saiyan is the primary form that Broly used in the first and second Broly movies to fight Goku, Gohan, Trunks, Goten, Videl, Vegeta, future timeline Trunks, and Piccolo in the first and the second Broly movies. And not only is it extremely huge and bulky and a gigantic form, he also has complete control of the form, and his speed is not degressed. It doesn't affect his speed or agility or stamina in no way. Um, Bio Broly in the third Broly movie, the Bio Broly movie also has this form, but it's stronger and mutated because it's a Broly clone. It's not a perfect Broly. All right, so Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan Grade 5 or Super Saiyan 2 is the form that Gohan unlocks when he fights Cell in the Cell games, and this is also the form that Gohan uses to defeat Cell. And then Gohan uses this form in the Majin Buu arc. Majin, Vegeta, and Goku in the Buu arc also have this form. It is also the next It's also the next evolution to Super Saiyan. It's much more spikier. The hair stands up even more on end, and it also gets longer and more blonder, or more blonde-like. There's electrical shocks, and it's just a much more pulverizing and stronger form. It's also a 2 times multiplier, or 3 or 4 times multiplier. And then the next form, Super Saiyan 3, is the form that Goku used to fight Fat Majin Buu and also Kid Buu in the Kaioshin realm in the Buu arc. The hair gets very long and it falls down alongside the back. The eyebrows disappear, and this is actually the last Super Saiyan form in the manga. In the anime, there is Super Saiyan Power. This form is only used by Goku once to fight Recoome, Jace, Berter, and Guldo in Hell with Paikuhan. And then Goku also uses a Super Saiyan Kaioken when he fights Paikuhan in the Afterlife tournament, or the Afterlife world. And the old Kaioshin's upgrade ability that turns Gohan into Mystic Saiyan or Ultimate Gohan when he fights Super Buff Buu is not a transformation, so it can be disregarded. So, those are the main Saiyan forms in Dragon Ball Z in the original manga. Now, in Dragon Ball Daima, Vegeta turns into Super Saiyan 3 when he fights the Tamagami 2 in the second Demon World, and Vegeta refers to this form as Ultra Form 1, and then Goku, with the Namekian Neva's help, genetically unlocks Super Saiyan 4. So, Kid Goku turns into Super Saiyan 4 and fights Three-Eyed Goma, and then when he reverts to his original age, he powers up to Super Saiyan 4 and fights and defeats Three Eyes Goma or Super Goma. But for some reason, Goku never uses this form ever again. The next form is Super Saiyan God. So, Super Saiyan God is introduced in Battle of Gods, the 2013 Dragon Ball Z movie, also the 14th Dragon Ball Z movie. Goku's hair turns magenta red, and it's not as spiky, and it's kind of like his base hair, but it's red. His eyes and pupils are also red. The aura is red, and it's kind of like the Kaioken, but it's much more powerful, and it has God Ki. Goku uses this form to fight Beerus in Battle of Gods. Then there is Saiyan Beyond God, which is just Goku and Vegeta in their base form with God Ki, having very white, purified auras, or kind of ultra white auras. Their hair stays black, And Goku and Vegeta use this against Frieza. Both has Final Form Frieza and Golden Frieza. Then there is Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, otherwise known as Super Saiyan Blue. This has a light turquoise aura, and their eyes and hair become a light turquoise blue. Their hair becomes a light turquoise blue, and their aura is a light turquoise blue. And this is the next form that is beyond Super Saiyan God. It's Super Saiyan Blue. Goku uses this form against Golden Frieza, Ultimate Evolution Frieza. He also uses this to fight Hit from Universe 6, as well as Goku Black, Merged Zamasu, and finally Jiren. And it is the most used form in Dragon Ball Super. It's introduced in Resurrection F, the 15th Dragon Ball Z movie, or the 2015 Dragon Ball Z movie. And then the next form is Super Saiyan Rose. Super Saiyan Rose is only used by Goku Black, and the hair becomes pink. The eyes and the hair are light pink. The aura is pink, and Goku Black uses this form against Goku, Vegeta, and future timeline Trunks until he fuses with with future timeline Zamasu into merged Zamasu. And anyways, the next form is called Super Saiyan Rage, or Super Saiyan Anger. And to date, future timeline Trunks is the only one to use this form. It's basically a upgraded and stronger and vengeful version of Super Saiyan 2. Future timeline Trunks' hair stands further on end. It's much more spikier. There is a light blue and white and golden aura, and future timeline Trunks uses this form against future timeline Zamasu, Goku Black, and merged Zamasu. Then there is perfected Super Saiyan Blue. Perfected Super Saiyan Blue is only used in the manga. It is used by Goku against merged Zamasu and later against Jiren. Vegeta also unlocks this form and uses it in the Tournament of Power. And then the next form is called Ultra Instinct Omen. Or Goku Gogoi Mi no Gogui in Japanese. It is Ultra Instinct Omen. And this form, Goku still has black hair, but it stands up and is spiky like Super Saiyan God, but it stays black. Goku has blue eyes, and he has kind of a white, very fuzzy-looking kind of aura. Goku uses this to fight Jiren for the first time in the Tournament of Power, and also he uses it to fight Kefla, the fused version of Caulifla and Kale. Then there is Super Saiyan Berserker, which Caulifla uses. It's just basically her version of legendary Super Saiyan. Her muscles grow to enormous size. She loses complete control, no pupils in the eyes, very purple, greenish blonde, a greenish blonde turquoise hair that stands up on end. There's also controlled Super Saiyan Berserker, where Caulifla's eye pupils come back. She has green eyes and a kind of greenish blonde hair and not such a bulky muscular feature or frame. The next form is Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Evolution, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Vegeta uses this form to fight Jiren the Gray, or against Jiren and Topo. His hair becomes even bluer. His pupils ring out and become blue. It's a light turquoise blue, and it's basically Super Saiyan blue with a bulkier, more stronger and robust form and feature. And finally, there is just Ultra Instinct. Goku's hair becomes perfectly white. His hair becomes entirely white. It kind of stays like in the base form or Super Saiyan God form. It's completely white. His irises are white, but his pupils stay black, and his entire aura becomes completely white, completely brazen white. And it is a perfect form of angel ki or angel kai, because it's later revealed that the angels have this form as well, but they stay in it 24/7, 365 days a year. They're always in that state. So after this, the first Super movie, the first Dragon Ball Super movie, Broly goes into the Ikari form, which I've already discussed. Then there is Super Saiyan Ikari, or Super Saiyan Legendary Super Saiyan 2019. Broly's hair turns a greenish blonde. He becomes very bulky and very giant-like, though not like an Ozaru. His irises vanish, and he becomes like Super Saiyan Berserker with Ozaru Ikari. Then he becomes Ultimate or Full Power Broly, where he reaches the full power state of that form. And so the next form is Perfected Ultra Instinct Omen, which is just the complete controlled form of Ultra Instinct Omen that Goku uses against Moro up until he absorbs Artificial Human 7-3 or Android 7-3 and becomes Super Perfect Moro. Then there is Perfected Ultra Instinct, which is just fully controlled Ultra Instinct. There's no differences in this form. Goku fights Super Moro in this form, or Moro 73 fused. And then there is the astral form of Ultra Instinct, which is just a giant astral projection or astral projected version of Ultra Instinct. Then Vegeta has Ultra Ego. And Vegeta's hair becomes black or dark purple. He gains features very similar to Beerus and Champa. His eyes and hair is purple and stands on end like a Super Saiyan. He becomes purple, his aura becomes dark purple, and he can use God of Destruction power or energy in this form. And he uses this against Gas, and later against, he uses first against Granola, and then against Super Gas, or Beast Form Gas. Then there is Beast Gohan, which occurs in the second Dragon Ball Super movie, the 2022 Dragon Ball Super movie, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Gohan's hair becomes completely white. His hair stands on end like Super Saiyan 2, and he uses his own distinguished form of divine energy, and Gohan uses this form against Cell Max, and eventually destroys Cell Max. And in the manga only, he fights Ultra Instinct Goku using this form. Then in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta use Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker, and Goku and Vegeta use Super Saiyan Blue Limit Breaker, as well as Universal Super Saiyan Blue. And that's only in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. In Dragon Ball GT, Baby uses a Tusuforianized version of Saiyan and Super Saiyan. And then the baby Vegeta uses Super Baby Vegeta, where it's Super Saiyan Vegeta, but with red irises and white hair and modified Tusuforianized features. Then there is Strongest Form 1 and 2 Baby Vegeta, where Baby Vegeta becomes very bulky and bigger and muscular, has a complete black suit, and basically is a cyborg Tusuforian. Next, there is Golden Ozaru, or Super Ozaru. And so Goku is the first to transform into a Golden Ozaru. He turns into a Ozaru and then into a golden-haired Ozaru, which is a combination of the 10 times multiplier of Ozaru and the 50 times multiplier of Super Saiyan, combined with the base form of Goku. And Golden Ozaru Goku fights Baby Vegeta, and later Baby Vegeta uses this form against Goku, and then finally Vegeta uses this form briefly in the Shadow Dragon's arc. Then there is Dragon Ball GT Super Saiyan 4. Goku gains control of the Golden Ozaru and evolves into Super Saiyan 4, where he has black hair that is completely long and branched out in spiky, yellow pupils and red fur on his upper body, with a Saiyan with a red fur Saiyan tail. Goku uses this power. It increases his power substantially. He also has greater resistance to techniques, and he has greater muscle memory. He uses this form against Golden Ozaru Baby Vegeta, against Super Android 17, Naturon Shenron, and Nova and Ice Shenron, or Iris Shenron, and finally against Shen and Omega Shenron. And then also Vegeta becomes Super Saiyan 4, and they fuse into Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta uses this form against Omega Shenron in the Shadow Dragon's arc. Finally, there is Ultra Full Power Super Saiyan 4, otherwise known as Super Saiyan 4 Ultra Full Power. Goku briefly uses this against Golden Ozaru Baby Vegeta, and against Sin Shenron and Omega Shenron. And of course, in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, there's Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker. Alright, so those are all of the Saiyan transformations, and this is a very Kino stream, and I hope you enjoyed it. So we have Slime Cognito, who's, like me, a fan of Academic Agent and Academic Agent's videos. Slime Cognito says, very Kino camera angle. Thank you, good sir. Slime Cognito says, yeah, so if Vegeta is 18k, when he went Ozaru, he had 180k power level. Yeah, so if Saiyan Arc Vegeta turned into an Ozaru in the Namek Arc, even at that low end of power, he could have actually defeated Dodoria, Zarbon, even transformed, and also probably Guldo. I don't know how well he would have fought against Raccoon, Jason Berter, but he might have defeated the Ginyu force in that form. Haga Sophia says, hello. Hello there, Haga Sophia. How are you doing? By the way, Sophia is Greek for wisdom. Let's see here. Haga Sophia says, can you face the camera, please? Well, I'm doing it right now, but yeah, I can. Alright, Oak Tree says, could Goku beat Wily West, though? That's a good question. Let me see.
Okay, so Wily West is the Flash, or the human Flash. The Flash could probably use accelerated speed to have a one-up on Goku, and probably Goku might have difficulty fighting him with his accelerated speed, but otherwise, yeah, Goku could very easily defeat the Flash. Haga Sophia says, could Goku beat Thrag the Invincible? Let's take a look and see. I'll Google. No. It's very hard to actually line up various anime characters with Western characters from the Marvel and DC universes. So apparently Thrag is definitely very strong and very invincible. He's from the Marvel version of the Superman verse. So that's a very good question. I would say no. Grand Regent Thrag would not stand a chance against Goku. If we're talking about Dragon Ball Super post Tournament of Power Goku with Ultra Instinct, then yes, Goku would very easily defeat Thrag the Invincible, Haga Sophia. Interdimensional Lizard, how are you doing? This is all true. Yeah, how are you doing, Interdimensional Lizard? They say this is all true. Interdimensional Lizard says, could Goku beat Little Shimmy in a rap battle? Depends on how good Goku would be at rapping. Because Little Shimmy is a very good rapper. Like, he is literally on the top charts of the rapping style venue, the freestyle rapping venue. So probably not Interdimensional Lizard. Alright, so, did that answer all your questions? Alright, so I am your host, Imperator Forge. We're done with this. Have a good day. Forge Gang! I am still a hard man. Stay hard! Peace out.